have the pleasure of introducing Rob Baker. Rob is the Chief Operating Officer for Ushahidi, and he's going to do his Ignite on BRCK, Internet Access Built for Africa. Please join me in welcoming Rob.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. Ushahidi has now been around for 6.5 years. We are a Kenyan-based software and services organization. We got our start, and primarily we've been doing our work to create open source software for crowdsourcing. You probably, if you know our work, you know it from the election monitoring that we've done and our community has done around the world, the mapping of crises, but additionally, True Story has also been used in ways we never thought of before. It's been used to map the booths at arts festivals around the world, and also to find the best burger in town. This map here kind of shows some of our favorites. Now, the secret sauce behind what was primarily done and early done by just a group of about 10 or 12 folks in this kind of proliferation with our software is that we were building the plane while it was in the air. That's typically not something you brag about. We're proud of it. When you couple that kind of strategy with agility, with an iterative approach, and one that's adaptive, what we get is a forcing function to build with, not for people. And that has really been just our secret sauce in making these things work. And we brought that motto to our first foray into hardware. Now, on the subject of connectivity, we only had as far to look as our Nairobi office. This is a sign in our office. We're kind of a bunch of nerds. I have a better picture of that here, though. We run into everything that I'm sure that you're all aware of here. As Laura framed beautifully this morning, electricity, not always on. The connectivity that we have through broadband channels, not always there. So how can we approach this in a way where we can start to address the lack of connectivity? Things are improving. This map here shows the underground cables that are bringing more broadband to the country. Africa continues to be a global leader in mobile adaptation and connectivity. These go really fast. But we all know the reality of this. We all know this is the reality that most of the world lives with here. So we landed on this question of how are we still using routers and hardware that is built for London and LA when we're in New Delhi and Nairobi. So we built a brick. How it works is that we have an Ethernet port here, so you plug it into the wall, plug in your Ethernet cable, and you've got that Wi-Fi signal. Additionally, we have the real power of it here is that we have a SIM card slot. So when the power goes off, when the internet goes off, you have the option to switch over to the SIM card, and that same Wi-Fi signal is now coming off of that card. This is the 8th prototype. We incubated this internally for over a year. So this is the 8th version of this, working with our teams in the iHub, our closest partners in Africa, to figure out what's working, what's not working, how can we build something that's not only long-lasting in terms of battery life and scalable, but something that's extremely rugged. We have been beating the hell out of this thing. This is actually, there's a 3-part video on the BRCK site where we went to Turkana, the largest county in Africa, went out to the most remote region, and tethering this to a sat phone, we were online. Earlier this week in Mozambique, working with a group getting ready for the general election. Normally, we would see a massive amount of phones, tethering all these devices to all these phones, one brick, and we're able to get 20 devices off of this for 8 hours. We want to look ahead, too. We don't want to stop at connectivity, but wait, there's more. Additionally, we have built a GPIO port, general purpose input-output, on the bottom of this so that we can start to think ahead about bridging, looking ahead to the Internet of Things. And this is where we come back to building with and not for, and making sure that the technology doesn't drive the function drives the technology. What we're most excited about as a company is not knowing all of what's next. We're excited to think about how we can bring more sensor data into this. So measuring air quality, measuring water quality, probably, probably not like this of leaving your cell phone by the river, but, starting to think about how sensor data can be sourcing as well. Put a GoPro on it, do live streaming in places where we would never think of live streaming, where there's no connectivity before. So we are so excited to think about what our community, having built a community, having focused on a community and not just a series of users, are going to do next with our devices. That's all I got. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Is that my hostess gift? My hostess gift? Yeah, my hostess gift, yeah? Okay, wow, that's great. Thank you. All right. There you go, you got another one. All right, so thank you. That was wonderful. That was Rob Baker.